Alright, so in this video we try to finish off the side sketch now. The this area in the reference image where the ends of the side sketch, why do I keep calling it side sketch? I meant the side steps. So these ends over here, from here all the way to this side, this black area here, that's what we're going to create right now, and maybe we might also create this one. So let's get into edit mode, or maybe let's create a new object. Now let's just get into edit mode of this one. So go into edit mode, let's zoom into this side, and let me see, let's take all of this, let me get into wireframe. Alright, so that selects all the way from here to the other side, hopefully. Yeah, it does. So what we're going to do now is to press Shift and D, press P, and separate the selection like that. So now I'm going to take this one and, no, the line below, let me see, yeah, that one. So just select it, go into edit mode, take everything and press S, or maybe here's what I want to do instead. Let's go into wireframe. We're going to take these two here and delete it. So I'm going to take this one out, press G twice and then C, and extend it all the way in there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to take these two, press X and delete it. Take this one now, press G twice and then C, and extend it all the way in there. So let's select everything and let's see what we have to dissolve. So yeah, first of all, what I'm going to do is let's take these three and dissolve those, and let's dissolve this vertex right here. And let me see, if we take these two, let's dissolve it. Take these two, dissolve it. Take this one, dissolve it. And take this one and dissolve it. So take everything now, press W, go to loop tools and choose space, and evenly space them out like that. So that is looking great. So I'm going to get to the side view now. Come on. So let's get onto the side view. We're going to move this down to have some huge amounts of gap over here, because when you take a look, you can see the gap here is quite bigger than the gap on the side. So let's just press G and Z, and let's move this down slightly below the actual gap over here. So let me just move it up just a little bit, so like that. Alright, so that should look good. Now all that we're going to do now is to extrude this in the Z axis and move it down to about, I think this is too high, so let's move it to about here, like this. I'm going to move it in the X axis all the way in there like that. I'm going to take everything and press Shift and N to recalculate the normals very nicely. Alright, so with that done, we're going to wireframe, add in a loop cut here all the way to the end. I'm going to add one more also on this side all the way to the end like that. Now I'm going to go into wireframe, add in let me see, we have this side pulling out on two lips, so there's like two edges here and then one that dips in. So we're going to put two in the middle like that. That should be good. So with that done, what we're going to do now is to add in a shrink wrap, which I think we already have. So it's on the body guide. So hopefully, let's just remove the group so it just applies it to it straightforward. Alright, so all we're going to do now is to apply the shrink wrap modifier nicely. We don't need it, so just apply it, and let's keep things as is. Alright, so with that done, what we're going to do now is to take these two, including the ones on the sides, these ones right here and here, and we're going to extrude it in the X axis. So press E and then X and extrude this back. Let me see how far in we want it to go. So let me just extrude it back to about here. Should be good. Shouldn't be too deep, so that should be good. I think it's good enough. Yeah. Now press Ctrl and R2 here, press E and then F, align it with this side and pull it out close to it like that. Alright, so we're going to choose object now. Click on object and choose shade smooths very nicely like that. Okay, so that is looking great. Now what I'll do is I'll take everything and move it up a little bit, because I think it's too low. So I'm going to press G and then Z and move this up to about there. Alright, so that should look good. Alright, now to create this edge over here, I'm going to take, the lips over here, I'm going to take these two. I think it's too separated, so what I'm going to do is scale it in the Z axis. Now that is a bad idea. So let's dissolve these instead, and let's add in one in the middle, and press Ctrl and B and bevel this ourselves to about here. So that should be good. Alright, so with that done, what we're going to do now is to take, let me go into local view. So when I go into local view of this object here, real quick, I want to zoom to this side and take all of the faces from here all the way to here. Where is it? All the way to here by holding down, select that one first, hold down control and select this one last. Let me just enable the screencast real quick. So do the same thing here, select this one, go all the way here and select this one last. Alright, once you have that done, all you're going to do now is to press E and then X and then extrude this in the X axis to about here. I think that should be good. Yeah, that should be good enough. Pretty sure it is. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is let's see if we put 2 in the middle of each of them. Just put 2 in the middle of each of them and put 2 also in the middle here. Yeah, so that should look great. That is looking great. Alright, so the faces here we don't need it. So we're going to take all of these faces here, including this one. Press X and delete the faces. Do the same thing on the extreme side, right here. Select everything and delete the faces. That should be looking good. Alright, so that about does it for this side. So let's just get out and see how this looks. So I'm going to get out and you can see it is already looking great. Very, very good. But I think we should make this match up on this side and to have it intersect, because I think that would look much better. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get onto the side. I'm going to match this instead of having it intersect. So I'm going to, let's dissolve these edges here. So dissolve it. Let's take this one and pull it all the way out here. And we're going to share this in the the Y, like that. I want to share it to about here, and I'm going to move it in the Y axis again and pull it all the way to this side. Alright, so with that looking good like that, what I'm going to do now is press F. I'm going to press I to set the faces nicely like that. And let's bring up this menu here and disable boundary like that. Minimize that again. Let's go into local view and see how that looks. So take it, go into local view. Let's take a look at how that looks. Alright, so that is looking good. We're just going to insert it one more time to about here. Press X and delete the faces nicely like that. Alright, so that is looking good. Now one final thing is to add in an extra loop cut over here close to the end like that. Alright, so you can see that is looking great. I think I want to fill this whole faces here. So what I'm going to do is press F and then press Ctrl T to fill the faces just nicely like that. I mean, we don't need quads in the middle here. It's not visible anyways. So just to make it look smooth, I just fill it in with random triangles and squares, and it's pretty much flat on the diagonal, so it's not going to cause any problems. Alright, so that should be looking great. Let's get out of that. Let's see how that looks in our corner. Alright, it's looking good. It's looking really, really good. Except one more thing. Let's take this one. Let's go into local view again. Let's go over to top view. There's one more thing I need to fix, which is this area right here. So I'm just going to local view. So let's take all of these and let me see. Let me make this one of these elements here the active element. So just select this one over here, make it the active element, change the pivoting point to active element, go over to the top view, let's go into wireframe, and we're going to share this again. Is it in the X? Yeah, in the X. And then share it so that the angle is in the same angle as the piece on the right side right here. So you can see I shared it. This is what we had before, this is what we have now. So it follows the angle nicely like that to create that nice gap over there to make it look much more realistic. Alright, so let's get back out and let's see how that looks. Alright, so you can see it's looking really, really good. But now I'm going to pull it back a little bit more to, kind of fill the gap even better. So I'm going to take all of that. I want to move it in the Y axis until it's sitting close to it. Like that. I also need to share it a little bit more. So let me just change the pivoting point back to boundary box and then share this in the Y axis. Just share it a little bit more out like that. And let's just pull it in the Y axis a little bit more. Alright, so that is much better. That's good looking. So we're pretty much going to do the same thing on the other side. So I might actually time lapse this one out. Alright, so once you finish, this is what you should be having, and as you can see, it's looking exactly like what we have in the reference image. So all that we have left to make is this piece down here. So that also shouldn't be too much of a problem. Should be easy actually. So what we're going to do is to add in a new object to actually create this. But let's make sure all the modifiers is what we need on this object right here. Let me take a look. So we don't need a bevel modifier. I'm going to get rid of that. Alright, so everything is intact now. So what we're going to do now is to add in the final piece. Let's see if we can finish that one in this video as well. So I want to add in a plane real quick. I'm going to move it in the x-axis, get onto the side, scale this, no, let's go into edit mode, scale it in the z-axis, and let's move this up right below the one we just finished. So G and then Z, and let's move that up to right there, like that. And I'm going to move it in the x-axis as well to, I don't know, about right there. Should be good. Yeah, so right there should be good. Let me pull it out just a little bit more, like that. I'm going to take this, pull it in the z-axis to about there. Is that good enough? Let me move it down a little bit more to about there. Alright, so that is looking good. Nice. So what I'm going to do now, it's pretty much the same thing, but we need, let me see, let me put, if I put, yeah, let's put 2 in the middle here, okay? So now we're going to take these two, let me change it to edge select mode. We're going to take these two and press Ctrl and B. I'm going to bevel this to about somewhere here, like this. And then with that done, what we're going to do now is to take all of these, all of the exterior edges, and we're going to extrude this in the x-axis all the way inside to about the same depth as the one on the inside, that is to about here. Alright, so what we're going to do now is, let me see, let's add in a subdivision surface. So I'm going to add in a subdivision surface at level 2, and let me just change to vertex select mode now. I'm going to take all of this, press X and delete the faces. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, delete the faces. Alright, nice. Take everything and press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. Change the shading mode, the shade type to smooth, like that. And what else? I'm just add in supporting edge loops for now. We'll be getting rid of it, but let's just add it in for now. Sorry. Now what we're going to do now is what the hell is going on? Sorry. I want to add in, I don't know, let's add in 2 on each side here. Take those 2, remember those 2 you added in, and take them. I want to move them in the x-axis a little bit out, like that, to create that nice looking bumpiness going on. Let me see, except let me take these 2, each of these, let me scale this in the z-axis, hold Control, no, hold up, scale it in the z-axis. I don't know if that is a good idea. Let me see. So let me just change the pivoting point back to boundary box, press S and then Z, hold Control and scale this down. Look at the amount you're scaling it down. So that is 0.6 up here. So we're going to do the same thing with the one below, S and then Z, same amount, hold up, S and then Z, I think I went too much, let me see, 0.6, nice. So you can just type it in and get your value. So that was what I did. Alright, so with that done, we're going to dissolve these vertices again, each and every single one. I'm going to re-add them in. So what did I dissolve? I think I dissolved the vertices instead. I intended to dissolve the edges, not the vertices. So dissolve edges, not vertices. So just dissolve each and every single vertex and add them back in at each of the points, and remember the ones you added in and select them. So we're going to move it now again in the x-axis, so G and then X, move it in the x-axis quite much, like this. And let me see if this will work. Let me pull this back in first. So let's pull it in just a little bit more. And let's change the pivoting point to individual origins. Let's press S and then Z. And let's kill each and every single one in the Z axis, like that. Alright, so I think that is looking like what we have in the image now. Let me just scale it up a little bit more. So S and then Z. So remember to change it to individual elements before you scale it in the Z axis, or else you're not going to get what you need. So let's take everything now. I think this side is sitting right on it nicely. Let me take a look. There's something going on here. So let's dissolve this edge. Take all of this, press S and then Y and type in 0, like that. Let's add in a supporting edge loop again. Press E and then F, add it in there. And let's take a look at this one. Alright, this one is looking fine. So I'm going to take all of this and move it in the X axis just so it's sitting on it nicely, just like the one on the side. Alright, so that is looking good. Now one final thing we have to do is to also create the dents on the top as well. So let's go into edit mode and let's add in, I think we can achieve it with, I don't know, 4 loop cuts. Yeah, I think 4 loop cuts is enough. Let's add in more than 4. First off, let me add in 1 all the way to this side to about here, and then let me add in maybe 3. Okay, let's add in, here's what I'm going to do first. I think this side is sticking out too much, so I'm going to take this, select everything, I'm going to move it in the X axis until it's about the same level as the panel on the side. So just move it in like that, and just move it out a little bit more. Alright, much better. So let's take this now, and what we're going to do now is, let me see, the edge select mode. I'm going to take each of this and let's press Ctrl and B. Let's bevel that, and let's add in some cuts in the segments. Let's change it to 2 each, like that. Let's minimize this. I hope this works. So we're going to take each and every single one of the 2 edges we added in the middle, like that. Make sure you have them selected right. It might be a bit frustrating, but you should be able to select them. Let's press G and then Z, and let's move this down in the Z axis to about there, like that. So yeah, that is looking good. Once you have that done, let's just add in 2 in the middle of each of the ridges, like that. Alright, so that should give us what we need. As you can see, it's looking really, really good. Nice. Okay. So one final thing is now to fit it onto this area. That shouldn't be too difficult. But I'm just making sure everything is looking great right now, which it is. So let's just fit it in. Let's just fit it in now. So I'm going to take all of this. Let's get onto the side view, and let's first of all dissolve this edge right here. Now take all of this, go into wireframe. Let's pull this back to about here, and let's share this in a Y, like that, to match the area right there. So I'm going to pull this out to about there. Alright, so that should look good. Let me pull it in a Y and see it's a little bit more. Nice. So let me just make sure. Alright, so I'm going to take this one and that one. Let's go into local view now. I'm going to take this, go into top view. Let's make sure it's also following this thing very nicely. So I'm going to change to vertex select mode. Make sure this one is the active element. I'm going to change the pivoting point to active element. Press Ctrl Alt Shift S and then X, and then share this so it follows the area here as much as that angle goes. So that should look good. Now I'm going to get to the side, and I'm going to pull it back just a little bit more, and let's hide this. Take this one now. I'm going to press F. I don't know if insertion is going to work nice. Okay, it is working. It's working nice. So just insert it twice, just like we did with the previous ones, like that, and press Ctrl T to just fill the faces nicely like that. Alright, finally just add in a loop cut, a final loop cut. Press E and then F and move it close to it like that. Alright, so that should look great. You can see it's really, really looking good. There's no problems or anything. Nice. Okay. I'm just taking a look around this area though. Kind of looks like there's some black. Well, you know what? Let's just keep it that way. I think this silver area is around this side, and then the one at the bottom, and that's it. The rest is just black. So we should be able to achieve that by assigning the materials to specific vertices on this object. So that won't be a problem. Alright, so let's press Alt and H and let's take a look at how that looks. It's looking good, but I just want to do one more thing. So let me hide this. Let me take this. I want to take this one, press Ctrl and plus. I want to deselect this one. Let's change the orientation to normal, and let's change the pivoting point to boundary box. So we're going to move this out like this. You know, let's move it in the y-axis instead. So change the orientation back to global. Let's move this in the y-axis, okay? Just so we can have it rounded than flat like that. So you can see that is looking really, really good. Let's press alternation. Let's take a look at that. Nice. As you can see, it's looking really, really great. Now let's get back to global view. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So I might actually time lapse this side out. If I don't, I won't be talking. So let's do this. Alright, so once you have that done, just add in multiple loop cuts in the middle just to define the subdivision surface much better. So let's just add in, I don't know, 10. Yeah, let's just add in 10 like that, just to define it much better. Alright, so that should be looking great. Now press Alt and H. Once you have that done, let's get back to global view. So you can see that is looking really, really nice, just the way we want it to be. Really, really, really good. Now I'm not so sure, but it kind of looks like there's some black surrounding, like a cover on top of this one. I'm not sure though, but you can do that on your own. I might actually do that off camera, so if you want to do that, you can also do it, but I'm not going to do it. Like I said, I'm not going to do it in the tutorial. So that is pretty much for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I might be finishing off the front bumper and finishing the front shell as well. So yeah, the side step is finally done. So I will see you guys in the next video.